Welcome back, everyone. On this adventure, we are headed northbound to northern British Columbia, Canada, flying along the Rocky Mountains in pursuit of the Northern Lights. It's going to be spectacular. We're also going to catch a beautiful sunrise over the Peace River Valley and even stop in to say hi to one of our old four-legged friends.
Hey, everybody get in! Rosie, no, you're not listening to me. No, okay. You guys. Good picture, guys.
But the best part is we got our mom and dad as well as some good buddies coming along for the ride. Let's go.
Good day. We're going flying.
All right, everyone. So because we got mom and dad coming along on this flight, we want to do an extra thorough pre-flight inspection of the airplane. When you got family on board, can't help but think of all the things that could potentially go wrong. And don't forget to subscribe, everyone. It's amazing how much this little YouTube channel has grown, and it'd be really cool to see it hit 10,000 subs. It's cold.
Everybody get in!
And of course, trying to line up our family for a selfie is probably the hardest task of this whole trip.
Good picture, guys.
So let's get this airplane pulled out. We're going to grab some jet fuel to top up the tanks, and then we'll be good to go.
Where you want it, right there?
Now here's a shout out to the ground crew, the refueling people, the ramp people that help keep us in the air. Pilots, don't forget to help them out from time to time. They deserve it.
Here you go,
They've got probably one of the hardest jobs at the airport.
At the desired speed, and it'll maintain it.
Now if we take a look at the map, you can see where exactly we're going. We're departing Calgary Springbank Airport. We're going to be flying up to Fort St. John, British Columbia, Canada. It's right along the Peace River Valley.
Igniters on, start switches on, NG's up above 20, add fuel flows coming out.
All right, so we're going to get the engine started up. We're starting engine number 2. The first one is already running, as you can see. Then we'll start our taxi for the active runway, which is runway 35 at Springbank. That's taking off to the north. And on this flight, I'm going to be flying co-pilot, and that's just because I've been doing a lot of flying recently, so I thought I would just sit back and enjoy the view. What's our vector?
Right now, your vector is 256.
There's too many numbers in aviation. Before we take off, we're going to do our pre-takeoff checks, as well as get our flight plan put into the GPS. Now, this is the Garmin GTN 750. It's an aviation type GPS. And for those of you who aren't pilots, if you're traveling from one airport to another, nowadays you usually do it via waypoints, such as AGMAC and OBNAP. Those are part of what's called a flight plan. So you fly to those en route to your destination. We're cleared for takeoff. We're just lining up on the runway now. Here is the airport diagram. You can see runway 35 there on the chart. And we're ready to go. Now these turbine turboprop engines produce 1,200 foot-pounds of torque each at takeoff power. Our rotate speed is 100 knots. It's about 110 miles an hour. We need that in order to get airborne. So there's 100 knots. As soon as we're confirmed in the climb, we'll bring the landing gear up. As soon as we were airborne, we were cleared to our first waypoint called OBNAP. So we're going to make a left-hand turn to intercept that. And we're only going to be cruising at 16,000 feet for this flight because the headwinds were absolutely atrocious. But it'll give us a better view as we fly northbound just along the Rocky Mountains. Alright, so we're going to start our descent down into Fort St. John Airport. It's beautifully clear out, but we're still going to plan for an IFR approach. In this case, the RNAV approach runway 3. 30, and we're going to plan to fly straight in via the waypoint Sasem, as you can see on the chart there. So we're going to load that into the GPS, and we'll probably cancel the IFR and fly VFR to the airport once we have it visual. And even though we're still a little ways back, we were able to spot the airport from about 20 miles away. So we're going to turn and do our final approach and fly straight into runway 30. That's the Peace River Valley off to the left. Absolutely beautiful. Looking straight ahead, you can now see the runway. We're lined up for runway 30, and we're going to start our landing checks. This is the BB Gumps check. Always do it in every single airplane. Belts, brakes, gear. That's the landing gear, undercarriage. Make sure the gear is down, and then you can see we got 3 green lights. That means all landing gear is down and locked. Hooray. We're going to continue on the approach. And hopefully Cale makes us a smooth landing. He's got quite a few landings now in this airplane. So hopefully he can grease this one. But sometimes it's nice to be able to fly co-pilot and just help out when you're needed. Just keep an eye on how things are going. So we're going to do our last minute checks before we land. That's gear, props, flaps, clearance, and check that the gear again is down. I can't stress this enough. Make sure the landing gear is down before you land. We're going to cross the threshold at about 100 knots and transition into the flare. Nice. Beauty. And in this airplane, you don't usually have to use a lot of brakes because the props create so much drag, and you also have prop reverse and what they call beta range, which basically puts the props into a flat pitch position. So they create a lot of drag once you land, and you don't really have to use the brakes that much.
And cabin back. Good job, Dale. Thanks, bro. Great success.
So we're going to park the airplane and shut everything down. And for my fellow pilots out there, this is for you. Enjoy. The sweet, sweet sound of turbine power never gets old.
I'll run and get the vehicle sorted.
Yep, you grab that. I'll do
And then I'll come back. All right.
All right, let's go find some northern lights. And maybe we can do some fishing, hopefully. But I don't think we're going to do any fishing.
But I did pack fly rods just in case.
How was the flight there, Mama?
It was awesome.
Good.
And because we are going to be spending the night, we need to make sure the airplane's all chalked up and secured.
Let's push it back a little bit. That's probably good there. Part kind of crooked, but
I see. Well, no, you're pointing towards the north.
that's okay. Now, Mom, do some arm curls with your little
Some
pink
what?
bag. Some arm curls with your little
Arm
bag.
curls.
That's right, work it out. Jane Fonda, that stuff.
Work it.
Now, if you ever travel to British Columbia, Canada, do not overlook the northern regions. It has some of the most spectacular scenery and some of the best fishing. In this case, the Peace River Valley the next morning was stunning.
You'd be freaking.
And of course, before we went to see the Northern Lights, we had to visit some old friends.
I missed you.
He did gain a little bit, but we've been feeding him a little bit more because he lost quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Third floor.
We're gonna get
checked into a room, then drive out down the Alaska Highway for about an hour or so out of town, and then hopefully get some northern lights by about midnight tonight. And this is my room. Boom. Shakalaka. Let's see, Ed, what do we got? Ooh, these are nice. Not bad. One bed for Kale, one bed for me.
Good morning!
Good morning, Vietnam! Look, it's 4 in the morning and they already sent us the bill. So one of our friends that we brought along, he is a Northern Lights expert. We are not sure if we're gonna see Northern Lights. So we waited for his signal when his data said it would be the strongest.
Check.
Sony A7 Alpha, which only scientists can figure out how to use. Check. The thing's heavy, dude. Let's do it.
Oh yeah, like we don't even have to go see the actual Northern Lights because they're already painted on the wall. So we waited up all night until about 4:30 in the morning, and boy, were we rewarded. And when the sun finally came up, we were no longer able to see the Northern Lights, so we decided to fly home, all within a 24-hour period. And instead of flying straight home, we decided to take a little detour through the Rocky Mountains. And I'm telling you, zigzagging through the mountain valleys never gets boring. In fact, I'll probably make a separate video just for that. Anyways, we landed back in Calgary, and we're gonna get the airplane parked. What an awesome trip. So the Northern Light adventure has been checkmarked. They weren't as bright as we expected. In fact, they weren't as bright as they were further south a couple weeks ago, but still a super fun trip, and we got to visit some old family friends. Not saying that they're old, but longtime family friends. We're gonna get everything unpacked and catch everybody on the next adventure. Cheers, everybody.